We are gonna be there in Uno.
Hello. Hello, Kevin. And hello, Lainey. How are you guys doing today? Today we have... I tried to set up some things. If you push like, hopefully it'll do something. But for those of you that are tuned in right now...
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Hello. How do you lower this?
Hi, how are you?
Lower what?
Got it.
Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you?
Alright. So, we got a lot of stuff planned for today. And that includes a giveaway of a Domino's pizza card.
Woo! Pizza! Yeah, pepperoni. Yum, yum, yum.
And if enough people tune in, we're gonna throw in Olive Garden card.
Oh my goodness. That's
But
a lot of
it has to be 20 people tuned in at one point in the stream to give away the Domino's card, and then 20 more for the other one. Kevin, yo, you are live. I see you. Hey, Ethan, what up? Okay. Besides telling those drawing rules, you are entered into the drawing by commenting. So, when you comment...
Oh, these are all the pizza lovers here. Ethan wants a pizza, as does Kevin.
People want pizza.
Lorraine,
And
she
Kevin
wants
is
a
in...
pepperoni pizza.
Kevin is in Canada.
Ooh,
So,
would you like some pepperoni,
uh,
Oh, I'm sorry if that doesn't sound right. My bad.
that is a foul.
Woo! That's a racial foul.
It's a 5-yard penalty.
Oh, dang.
Alright. So, I also got a package from Australia from my friend. His name is Napa. Napa sent me a package from Australia, and I want to see what's
It's a bloody
inside.
kangaroo.
I wanted
There's a
to open this up.
Is there a koala in there?
It's a koala,
A bloody kangaroo's inside that box. You want some help with that?
I don't want to cut anybody. We're already cut too much.
Here's a good
Both
moment
of us.
of teaching how to use a box cutter knife with no hands. Guess what? You won't get hurt because you don't have hands. Oh, picnic. What
Score.
is a picnic?
So these are all Australian candies. Thank you, Napa.
Crunchy.
And we got some package of
Crunchiness.
Tim Tams. If
gonna
any
eat
of you
this.
have ever heard of a Tim Tam slam,
I'm gonna eat this.
my brother will eat one.
Yeah.
Or maybe 2 or 3.
Here's my
Uh,
instructions how to open a cookie thing with
he's
one
gonna
hand.
show how to open something with one hand.
You use your mouth.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Tastes like Australia.
So Australian chocolate is supposed to be
Whoa,
very
what
good.
is in this thing?
Very good. Apparently my widgets aren't working for lights, but
It
it's
tastes
a
like
didgeridoo. Exactly.
a lot of sugar.
Didgeridoos have a lot of sugar. Anyways, today I wanted to show a video of my brother. I cut it for the auction, for the Burn Survivor auction that used to be a fundraiser back in the day. And I also wanted to introduce you to my brother. I haven't talked about him very much on the show or on any of my videos. He did carry my camera for the movie theater video. My brother was in an electrical accident. We're gonna start with a video, so hold on tight, folks. Let's see here.
A video.
And I'm sorry for not.
My name is Fatou Matungi. I was burnt in 2008 of August, building a power line in the backyard.
One man was electrocuted and another is in serious condition this afternoon after an accident on a power pole.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
It is an unreal sight as two men dangle from a power pole.
The power went off.
Pat Carrillo was sitting at her computer. After the outage, she looks out her window.
The bottom one was not moving. He was smoking. And the other man was dangling upside down and kind of frailing his arms.
Fatou Matagi is still alive. His partner, Stephen Vlamakis, is dead. The two hang for at least 45 minutes while this worker from Rocky Mountain Power scales the pole, turns off the electricity, and at one point assures Matagi that he will be okay. He unfastens his harness and lowers him to the ground.
It's so sad.
Matagi is rushed to the hospital and remains in critical condition. He has bad burns on his arms and legs, and what caused this accident is still unclear tonight.
I woke up 2 weeks after I'd been injured. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't speak. I had a ventilator inside my mouth. I tried to rip the ventilator out of my mouth. I was asking for Steven, who was my coworker who tried to save me on the power line pole and died trying to save me. I would ask where he was. I cried a lot. And then I'd forget what I asked, so I'd pass out. Nurses would come in and put me back on the ventilator, and I would go back out of consciousness. As soon as I woke up again, I'd ask where Steven was. And I think that happened for about a week. Lots of crying and wondering where Steven was. I had my arm for about 2 weeks after I woke up. My arm was inside a bunch of stabilizers and I couldn't move it. My wife came in and she told me that I was going to get my arm amputated, and I kind of knew because I couldn't feel my arm, but it was really hard on my wife and my family.
Tell us about the day you woke up with no arm.
I was pretty belligerent, yelling at the nurse a lot. I had to get a blood transfusion.
He started feeling like he was crawling out of his skin, and we worked him up for a blood transfusion reaction, and he said it was kind of the scariest point that he's ever felt in his life. He broke out in hives pretty quickly.
My body started swelling up. My wife said I looked like a Ninja Turtle, and I sat there and itched for a long, long time.
I just sat there and talked him through it. He's like, "Am I gonna die? Am I gonna die?" I just said no, because that's what you say.
I passed out just because of the pain, and I was in and out for about 6 days, and I would just wake up and nurses would be trying to spoon feed me, and then I'd pass out again. In the hospital, it's hard because you can't really, a lot of times I was stabilized, so I couldn't really do anything for myself. Somebody had to push me, or my wife had to pull me on like a cart. Donor sites feel like a big road rash. From what I understand, they take like a cheese grater and they run it over your skin, then take that skin off and place it over a burn. I couldn't feel them until I got home, and I wasn't on top of my pain pills. And those are the most painful. Extreme soreness, stinging. where they go and they debrief your wound. They uncover it and they wash it all off and pull staples out of your grafts. And it really hurts. Before I would go in, I could hear people screaming inside this room. And then I'd get in the room and it'd be all sterile and metal, and they'd start pouring water on you and blood would start dripping down all over the table that you're on. I know that I didn't like going into the tank room, and nobody on the floor did. I would eat, sleep, and try to use the bathroom. It took me a week to learn how to go to the bathroom. And it would just be like being born again and trying to relearn things. Except that you would remember how you used to do things, and then that would be the pain of it, is trying to adjust from knowing something to doing something different. When people see my skin grafts and I'm walking in the public, they naturally have a reaction of, whoa, what is that? And they ask questions sometimes. Other times you just feel like everyone's staring at you. I have phantom pain that I still feel right now, all the time, every day. It has just gotten a less sensitive. It used to be really painful and I had to be on medication. And now, 5 years later, I'm off the medication, but I still have the pain. I was a camp counselor at Camp Nanama in 2009, 1 year after my accident. I think it helped me to see how people recovered from being burnt, and it helped me to understand where I was in that process.
For the staff, we get to see the progress that people have made and the ability for them to survive after and to live their lives.
In 2011, I went to the burn camp for grown-ups.
His interaction with you and Jason and Quimby, all together, it seemed like there was just a great bond.
We still hang around and go snowboarding with each other. Some lifelong friends that don't just stick around during burn camp, but all year long. My name is
Alright, now we're back online. I'm gonna give myself a foul.
Where were you on that one, bro?
Yellow flag. I forgot to warn everybody about the blood, and I apologize for that. If you got surprised or scared, don't worry, his right arm is flying up in heaven.
One is for blood.
Yes.
That's a Sesame Street character, in case you don't know that. Just saying.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Good job.
We got the drums.
We got all kinds of sound
We got
effects
sound
here.
effects.
If we need Snoop. If we need Snoop.
Blood Al.
Blood Al. Anyways, we were talking about acceptance. Fatu, what did acceptance and how did acceptance play a role in your recovery?
Okay, so acceptance, when you're first injured, acceptance is a big thing because you really want to deny what's happened. You don't want to be where you are. So a lot of us become really ignorant of reality, so we try to cover it up by not, or putting ourselves somewhere where we don't have to deal with what's in front of us. So you definitely have to accept what happened just so that you can actually move forward. And I would also say that you bounce in and out of acceptance with different segments of your injury or your trauma. Mostly it's trauma. I think trauma's the better word for it, because trauma's the thing that you're trying to recover from. Does that work?
Yeah, that's fine. That's great.
Pull the foul button.
I think acceptance. There's a couple of graphics that I created that talk about acceptance. One is right here, and it says acceptance is the main ingredient to a successful recovery. I think that before you can start doing anything, you have to be able to accept that it's real. So, for example, if my chore is to do the dishes, and I see that pile of dishes growing up taller and taller and taller, and I'm just sitting there not accepting it, then it becomes harder to do the dishes. And I think it's the same in everything. Like if you're trying to train for basketball or football, and you have to go in the weight room and do those exercises, you're not as likely to do them if you can't accept the fact that that's what's going to help you the most. So you have to be able to accept it. Do you have anything else you can add?
No, I think that was good. I think acceptance definitely is the first step if you want to put it in a step order. I just would say that you bounce in and out of steps. But yeah, definitely is a... Like, you can't recover from something if you're too scared to actually face it. So, that's true.
Right. And I also found this website. It's called the refugecenter.org. And I talked at the World Burn Congress. I talked a lot about resiliency and coming back from an injury quickly. And I found this website today, and they had a graphics, or one of the steps is self-acceptance. Now there's acceptance of the situation, and then there's acceptance of self. Work on reducing should thoughts about yourself. Allow yourself the space and time for your body, emotions, and mind to embrace and pass through the processes they need to. So, a lot of times when trauma happens to us and we're trying to recover and we're sitting there and we're looking at how far we've come, and we say to ourselves, I should be farther than this. Joe down the street went through this same thing, and he's already freaking flying airplanes into the round smoke circles. So there is some level of acceptance.
Yeah, I would say when you're dealing with acceptance, it's important that you keep yourself independent from other people. A lot of times we get in these comparison games, so when we start comparing ourselves to others, we have a tendency to see the negative in ourselves. Sometimes that may be good, but most of the times that could be hurtful, because you are not a person. You are not the person that you are looking at. You are your own self, so you have to actually accept what you're going through rather than what everyone else is going through. You get this in like the keeping up with the Jones factor in the rich neighborhoods, you know, all those people that are trying to chase these boats and fancy flying airplanes and live in a mansion in a castle with all their homeboys. Quit measuring yourself to other people and just let yourself be. And that's just an economical kind of version of self-acceptance.
True. The other part about self-acceptance, you should be forgiving of yourself. So say I go to ride a bike after I have been in an accident, and I get mad because it's not the way it was before, and so I'm getting mad at myself when really I'm just starting over like a baby, like you said in the video. So you have to be kind of kind to yourself.
Yeah, I got an example of that. So I was on the Paralympic snowboard team one time, and I remember there was a bunch of us that showed up to this beach. We were all going to play a frisbee game, and I remember one of the people that I was with lost his not dominant hand. Lost his dominant hand. So my left hand, I was born left-handed. The man that I was playing with lost his right hand, and his right hand was his dominant hand. So he couldn't throw the frisbee as well to the other Paralympic athletes that we were all running up and down this beach. So when he threw the frisbee flew off and didn't land where he wanted it to do. And so he was really mad, and he was frustrated at our coach. Inside the van, he talked about how he wanted to tell the coach, hey, you need to learn how to pick select activities that are doable by the athletes that are playing the game. And I guess what I would say is the coach, he didn't know, or he couldn't fit all those different categories, because you had several different amputees of different levels, and all of them couldn't meet the perfect requirement for that game. So a lot of the stuff that we go through, we're holding ourselves accountable, or we're holding other people accountable for our own self-doubts. And I think that's the deal with self-acceptance, is when you realize that everybody's just trying their best, then you have a tendency to give people a shadow of a doubt.
Right. That's a good point. And in my presentation for World Burn, I talked about self-acceptance. Being kind to yourself when you make mistakes. When you go through trauma, it's a brand new thing for you. But I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about today. And we'll talk about more. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We're still working on this thing, but this live thing, and hopefully getting it better and better. I'm entering Kevin Brennan in the drawing from Canada.
Pizza. Who wants a pizza?
Laney.
Ethan wants a pizza. Ethan wants 2 pizzas and a didgeridoo.
Yeah, you gotta...
Whatever that is.
Didgeridoo. That is a Australian instrument.
Steph McKnight wants a pizza. Steph McKnight also wants the Corona over and out. Booyah! Same here, bro. Screw the coronavirus.
Sure I don't want no Corona. So, if you're watching, 5 of you, comment in less than 2 minutes, or else you're not entered. So far I only have 4 people entered. You have to comment to be entered, and there's a little bit of a lag, so hopefully you get entered before I hit this button. Do you have any jokes?
My jokes. Oh, yeah. So there's this one guy. There's these 3 dudes. They were all construction workers. They're chilling on top of this building on this little structure. And they're like, dude, let's have some lunch. And they're all different nationalities. The European, he's like, yo, if I eat this sandwich, if I open up my lunch and my wife packed me a sandwich, I am so sick of this job, I am going to quit. So he opens up his lunchbox and there's a sandwich, and he's like, I'm out of here, and he jumps off the scaffold and he takes off and runs down the street, and they're like, oh dang. So then this Mexican guy, he's like, yo, if I open up my lunchbox and there's a burrito inside this lunchbox, I'm out of here. I'm jumping off this scaffolding. I don't care if I live or die. He opens up his lunchbox, there's a burrito, and he's like, orale! He jumps off the scaffold, falls to his death. And then the last guy, he's a Samoan, and he's like, if I open up my lunchbox and there is chop suey inside this lunch, I'm out of here. I'm jumping off of this scaffolding and I'm gonna die. So he opens up his lunchbox. There's Chop Suey. He jumps off of the thing. He falls to his death, and they go visit his wife, and they're like, hey, he was really mad that you packed Chop Suey for his lunch. And the wife was like, what? He packs his own lunch. Is that a good joke? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I'm Samoan, so I guess I could make fun of myself. I'm only 50%.
Hold on.
Blood hell.
Blood hell. Blood hell. What else? Brick breaking. Okay, so we only have 4 names. Whoa! Alicia, just in time for the drawing. We're throwing in Alicia's name. Bum bum bum. Okay, we're doing the drawing. So sorry if you haven't entered. I'm using an app to randomize and pick. Oh my gosh. Jeez.
Sorry, bro. My wife's calling, so I gotta like step out for a second because she owns my life.
Okay. And the lucky winner is Ethan. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, that's the wrong one. Where is this? Oh, I don't have no cheering. Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoy. And I think I want to explain about why I'm doing live shows. I feel like I often talk about the how to use these prostheses, but I feel like you can learn how to do everything once you master yourself. And that's one of the things that I want to make clear. If you master yourself, you master in here, you can't be stopped. And it doesn't matter what kind of prostheses. I see a lot of people be like, I can't do it unless I get an electronic prosthesis, blah, 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 blah. But the thing is, when you get an electronic prosthesis, you're going to find out the prosthesis isn't the thing that's going to save you. It's right here. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.